Hello and welcome back to the AfriCanadian Resource Center. My name is Kizito Musabimana and I am the Executive Director and the founder of the Rwandan Canadian Healing Center, which is a non-for-profit organization that is designed to help provide learning, healing and rebuilding based on the challenges and traumas individuals have suffered throughout their life. I started this organization about 3 years ago, and since then we've had many milestones, and today one of the milestones that we are actually working through is the AfriCanadian Resource Center, which is a program that we're bringing to you every night at 6 o'clock. We apologize today we started a bit late, but this is our goal. Our goal is to have this program every day, talk to people on the street, have some interviews, have some different programs that are helping us to learn about who we are, learn about the community, but also learn about what are the resources, the information, and also how are the people coping during COVID-19. This is one of the mission for us, and is the reason why we've been given this chance to actually provide this kind of level of understanding, specifically during COVID-19. How are the people doing in the community? What do we need? What is missing? What is available? What can we provide to other communities? Those are the things we're looking at throughout the day. Every day we go out on the scene, but also just understanding throughout the community, whether it's on the web or by surfing the internet and things like that, trying to see what are the things we can do better, how can we cope with this challenge of COVID-19. So today we're going to bring you a community that is actually close to where I am right now at our office. And that is the community that is near the Kensington Market. We're going to show you what it is, what it's like over there. But before we do that, I would like to reintroduce you to our organization, the Rwandan Canadian Healing Center, allow you to meet members of the organization, the leaders in the organization, the board of directors, but also to remind you, what is the mission? What is the mission for the Rwandan Canadian Healing Center? Why are we here? What is our purpose? Because I think sometimes we focus so much on the current project, which is telling stories and advocating for communities through this AfriCanadian Resource Center. But we want also to remind people, what is our organization about? Why were we started? Who are the people behind the organization? But also, if you need to reach us, where can you find us? So without further ado, please, I'll take you to the Rwandan Canadian Healing Center. If a soldier can experience PTSD from a battlefield, if a child who lives traumatic events gets to relive it in adulthood, then can a person with trauma cause PTSD for generations later? My name is Kizito Musabimana, and I am the founder of the Rwandan Canadian Healing Center, a non-for-profit organization established in 2018 with a mission to help heal individual and community trauma. When you think of past trauma, PTSD can be a much broader challenge than we would like to admit. Take my Rwandan community, for example. A recent study by Rwanda Biomedical Center estimated the prevalence of trauma to be at 3.6% among the general population. But among genocide survivors, trauma was estimated at 27.9%, of which 18% was under the age of 35, which means many of these young people were not yet born at the time of the genocide. According to Dr. Iyamuremye, intergenerational or transgeneration trauma is a transference of emotion, physical and social pain from one person to their descendants. Now imagine all of our ancestors who have lived through many different traumas, but never yet had a chance to learn or heal from it. Can these challenges have caused our generation's trauma? If this is true, which we believe it to be, then imagine how selfish it would be for us, with all the information we have, for our generation not to learn about our past records, to understand the challenges we face, so to heal any mental, physical, or spiritual wounds that our body might have carried from this life or past trauma.
Living in Canada for 20 years as a Rwandan Canadian, I see the challenges and the struggles we have as a Rwandan community.
Processing what has happened in the migration process, processing what happened before you immigrated, and then also at the same time deal with issues around transitioning in Canada.
children also absorb from their parents, and the emotional touch goes right from the parents to the children. And we know for a fact that those children will still be affected in many ways because of what their parents go through.
But I think the healing center coming to help the people who have struggled with post-traumatic disorders, the genocide, war, and other catastrophes as well. It gives that opportunity for people to talk about everything.
Is there anybody listening anyway? That's the question. And when you talk to most of them, they don't believe that there is anyone that would be there to listen to their stories and make sense of what they went through. We hope that this center will be a center where the survivors will have the opportunity to share and confide in each other, but also access professional help.
Sharing stories to help the healing process is absolutely crucial. I'm really, really positive and excited that the Canadian government, and particularly the Department of Canadian Heritage, has supported the mission of the Rwandan Canadian Healing Center. And this really shows the commitment and the importance of the work that we're doing.
We are communal people, and we've lived communal lives for a really long time. So we need to practice this communal culture of, I care about you and I see you, and let me reach out and help you so that we can grow together, so that we can transition to being better and prospering together. It takes a village.
All right, so as we continue on this battle of coronavirus, as one of our follower, a kind follower mentioned, this is something we must continue to do. Obviously, we, as everywhere we go, if you are at work, if you go to school, everywhere you are, everybody's telling us one thing: we have to continually wash our hands, continually, wear our mask and staying safe. This is one of the things that all of us are encouraging each other. But also to remember that this is a war. One which, of course, we must win. Question is when, and we hope to do so soon. In the meantime, I would like to let you know what's going on as far as the news here in Canada. Of course, this is the main things that we try to look at, is the main things that we feel like people need to know about our community, or at least within our community. And so today they say that now that Canada's emergency response benefit, the SARB, has rounded down, people who are still jobless are eligible for other federal financial support to help get them through the next phase of this pandemic. They say that most people who are collecting SARB will be automatically transitioned into EI, which will provide a taxable benefit of at least $500 a week or $300 weekly for extended parental benefits. EI claims are eligible for at least 26 weeks more, and this means that people who are switching from EI to SARB will be eligible for their first payments as of October 11. And that's obviously some positive news, and something we appreciate here in Canada. Being able to have this level of support from the federal government has allowed a lot of people who otherwise would not be able to survive during this time to actually have something to be able to lean on. So this program, whether it's SARB and now being passed through to EI, will definitely help a lot of people. And so if you need help, if you have if you're going through a tough time, you know what to do. The website is Service Canada, I believe. We can obviously make sure that there is a specific link, but mostly Service Canada or My Service Canada will allow you to get the programs. I'm sure most of you have already been through this, but we're just letting you know that there is good news for those people, that you can actually continue to be on these programs until the economy gets better, until you can find a job. And so, yeah, good stuff here in Canada. At least for us, this is something we really, truly appreciate. The other news is that Ontario is reporting 625 new cases of COVID-19 today. This is definitely a little bit better than what we had, I believe yesterday or the day before yesterday. They say that nearly half of these numbers are here in Toronto. So for those of us here in Toronto, I mean, this is scary, because if you're thinking 300 cases a day, that means, I mean, Toronto is a huge city, but still we have to be careful, because even one person can be a dangerous thing. Having over 300 people obviously is more of a challenge for many. But we hope to go through this. As we say, it is a war, and we're coming out on top, and the question is when. We were going now to take you to the scene where we were earlier, talking to people in the Kensington market. And what we were trying to do there, as you're going to see, is really trying to find any representation of our community, the African Canadian community. And so we want you to listen and take a look, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Take it away.
I've been trying to do my very doing. I've been looking for us in the fray. You're the only one I've been expecting, but you're again the one who ruined my plans for what we've been doing.
All right. So we are in Kensington Market. As you know, Toronto is a multicultural city, and this place here, Kensington Market, is the center of that experience, because there's so many different businesses here that you find, and then there's of course events that take place. So what we are looking to do today is look for an African representation among this mix of different communities. Do we have any African representation? So that's what we are about to check out. We'll see you right there. Hello, excuse me.
Hey, good.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Where are you from?
Very good. I'm from Gambia.
From Gambia. Can I talk to you for a second?
For what?
So we're doing coverage with the, we're trying to cover African communities in the area. Okay. And I just wanted to ask you a question or two. Yes, sir.
I've been trying to do my very doing. I've been looking for us in the fray. You're the only one I've been expecting, but you're again the one who...
All right, so far I'm looking around. I haven't seen any African representation, but we're gonna keep looking. I'm actually looking also to see maybe there's some of the black community representation. Usually I know I've been here a couple of times, I've seen a couple of those, but today I'm just trying to find specifically anything that is Continental. So let's see if we can find anything that represents our community. All right, so for my poetry brothers and sisters, if you come here at Kensington Market, it's mostly during the week, of course, summertime. If you come here, check out this place. There is a lot of activities that take place here, and I've been here a couple of times. Like, it's, you know, if you come here during the week, on weekends, trust me, you won't regret it. This is one of the spots that when you come to Toronto, you want to check out, because there is so many artists that are born here, that craft or at least grow their craft here. So yeah, just letting you know, come check out this spot. But anyways, we continue our search for the African community representation here, and we hope to find one. All right, see ya.
First name, Wulde Ben Amashik.
What's up? Tell us, you're telling us about the setup. What is this?
Okay, so this, what I have here is originated in the, as we know, the Eastern Peninsula.
Okay.
Some say Africa, some say Akuba.
Ah, there you go. You know the name.
Akuba or simply Kush,
there you go.
Kamet,
yeah.
or the Gyandi.
Nubia.
The Gyandi.
Oh, there you go.
When we say Gyandi, we're speaking about the old Indus Valley,
okay,
where we know civilization started. So as we know, Kensington Market over the years have been a place where people from all walks of life who lives here in Canada, let's say, could come and enjoy their culture.
Yes.
Every single culture is here.
Alright, so I just want you to show me like some of these things I don't know. Like maybe like what are the most
important
things for you? Yeah. Like, what are we looking at? Oh, they got stones as well. This is amazing. The ankh, my brother, the ankh.
We need the ankhs made from metal like this. We need that from Africa. We need you brothers to bring it for us. This is another Rastafarian brother within the community.
Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting.
Introduce yourself, Aya.
It's okay. Just
Introduce.
We need you because you have the mic. But yeah,
It's okay, respect.
Go ahead. Let us know who you are.
Oh, Sun Gold, born and raised in Toronto, Canada.
All right.
Jamaican descent.
This is a book that we recommend to the whole entire world. This book.
What is it called? What book is that?
Book of Stones. This is a pocket book of stones.
I've been trying to do my very doing. I've been looking for sin to pray. You're the only one I've been expecting, but you're again the one who.
All right. So as you saw, we were able to find our representation here at Kensington Market. That's really the one thing we were looking for, is to find something that is unique, that is African, and we were able to find a couple of individuals here who are running businesses. Of course, there are more from what we are told, and if we had time, we can explore the entire place. But we just wanted to maybe come in and get a little bit of an understanding. And from what we saw, of course, the theme was African spirituality here, and you know, we loved it. For me as an individual, I really want to come back here actually, and you know, look at some of those pieces and see what maybe I can use for my own life. Anyways, just wanted to thank you again for joining us, and hope to have you here for the rest of the show.
A message from the Government of Canada.
All right. So as you've seen, Kensington Market is a special place. Honestly, every time I'm there, I was there not for production, just I think a couple of weeks back, and we had an amazing time there. There's always performances there at night. So going there during the day is a different experience, but you still meet people who are very interesting. And so having those interviews earlier, being able to visit those stores, like being able to see, I mean, one thing I'm noticing though, the Ethiopian community is really doing so good, is doing so well here in Toronto, and it's something to look at. I always talk about looking at communities like the Jewish community, looking at the Chinese community, the Indian community, especially the Sikh community within the Indian community. But also the Ethiopian community. Really, they are setting an example, because everywhere we're going, you either find a business or an organization, but there is all representation. And I think that's something to really look at and see, what is the Ethiopian community doing that the rest of us need to do? Because if you saw in the report, some of the stores, of course, that were not open for us to be able to talk to them, but there are so many of those different stores. There is one that was there that sells food. There's one that has like arts and things like that. And then, of course, the one that we visited that had these beautiful spiritual products and like the stones and things like that. So you can see that there is a lot of us in everything. And for the Kensington Market, what we noticed, and I said that in the report, is that there is a beat of everything. There is a beat of ours in everyone there. And so it's really, we had an amazing time. We appreciated them. And we, for me, I hope to go back, and maybe we can go back there if there is an event. But of course, because it's winter, most likely we're going to have to wait until next summer, because winter is about to reach us soon. And Kensington Market usually in winter is not as vibrant as it is in summer. Anyways, that was about Kensington Market. We really appreciate the community for inviting us in and for welcoming us. And next we're gonna bring you something more different. Obviously, you know the Rwandan Canadian Healing Center's main mission is healing. You know that we started this organization with the mission to focus on trauma and helping individuals to rebuild from whether it's on a personal level, but also on a community and organizational level. Today we're going to talk about the personal level. Personality test or personality in terms of how do you recognize your strengths and your weaknesses and work with those and figure out how to maybe use what is the best to your advantage, and also learn how to cope with the things that are difficult in terms of like maybe how you can how you gel with other people. Today I'm gonna be joined by Likam, who is our coordinator, but also right now we've given him a new title. He's definitely our producer as well, because a lot of the things we're bringing you these days, he has his hands on it, and he's an incredible guy. He's got a lot of creativity. And so today, a program we're bringing you is more of an introduction to what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, about different personalities. And so, Likam, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Can you guys hear me?
We hear you very well.
That is perfect. And dude, I loved your intro. That's exactly that's the vibe I was going through. So thank you for picking up my vibe, you know?
All right, that's good. That's good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm super excited to talk about this stuff. I mean, something that's still stuck with me from, I think, the first time I was on here, and honestly, from meeting you the first time, was your whole idea of just being me, and how by being me, I can export that to the world and kind of make it more better, just make it better generally. So I think this is a really good way to do that. And even, I mean, obviously this is exceptionally good for trauma and being able to go back into history in the past, but even just for everyday people who want to learn more about themselves, learn how to deal with their emotions, their thought patterns, their behaviors. This is really something like cool to get into. So I mean, like, yeah. And obviously we have something tomorrow as well that goes more into depth, and that's more, you know, me and you. So that'll be really cool to get into. But yeah, no, I'm good to go. And just to explain what we're trying to talk about right now and how that feels with personality.
Yeah, I like how you say that it's for different, it explains behaviors. Because I think one of the things is a lot of people go through like sort of like, it's like, oh, okay, I'm this way, but you never really can explain why are you this way? What makes you different from the other person? And I think what you're going to present us right now is really that unique thing that actually explains your individuality, and it allows you to see what you already are, but it allows you to sort of put it in words and put it in a sort of, it's almost like having a textbook of your own life. And for me as an individual, I use different forms of understanding. I tried to do this when I was going through my own healing journey. But how important do you think maybe it is for someone to learn these things? And perhaps I will ask you this question after after we go through this, but maybe as an intro before we get to that, how important do you feel like somebody who is looking to heal and learn, how important do you think these are for them?
Actually, I have this funny, so back when I was in university, time ago, as you can see from my wrinkles, I took a course in, I think, first year called Abnormal Psychology. So basically it's about understanding people and how they abnormally think. And I'll never forget what the professor did. First day of class, he walks up, strides in, looks all nice, and he's like, if you're here, you probably think you're crazy. And that's why people take psychology. And so I thought about that, and I think obviously he was being a bit facetious and he was a bit overboard, but the point is, we all kind of want to know more about ourselves. And I think even if you don't think about it too often, it's still something that can help you. So honestly, I think it's super helpful. And I feel like everybody wants to at least try to understand who they are and why they are, honestly, is the biggest question. And one thing I really like about what we're about to talk about, which is the MBTI, it's not necessarily a personality test like, I like cake, I don't like this. It's more about how you take in information, how you make judgment calls, how you make decisions, and things like that. So I'm excited and I'm ready.
Amazing. And I know tomorrow we're going to talk about our individual tests, but if you're ready, let's maybe just go to you and have you explain all of these details for us. And then, of course, we look for an even more expanded you and I kind of explanation of what these all mean. But first, go ahead, take it away.
Thank you. No, perfect. So I really just wanted to talk about the MBTI, and if you can see on the screen, I think it's this way. You'll see the differences: the extroversion versus introversion, feeling versus thinking, intuition versus sensing, and judging versus perceiving. Now I know all of us kind of have sort of an expectation or idea what extroversion versus introversion is. You know, oh, I like to party versus.
Likam, good to speak. Likam, if you can maybe cut back. So Likam, if you can maybe fix your mic, please, because we cannot hear you from. I don't know if there is a mic or something that's missing there, but there is an issue there. If you can work on it. So let's come back. See if you can. Maybe you have it fixed or something. Are you there? Hello, Likam. You gotta cut to it, man. Hello. Yes, Likam.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. So yeah. We just we're having a sound issue. We're trying to see if maybe it was your mic or something. We're gonna try again. We're gonna try to cut you again. We're gonna try to allow you to go back to that presentation. But we were having a bit of a sound issue. I'm not sure if it's the computer or something.
Just let me know if you can.
You sound good right now. You look good. Sound good.
Thank you.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys can hear me now. I don't want to take too much of your valuable times. But just to start with extroversion and introversion, this is really about energy and how sort of we go about ourselves. So extroverts are, in a sense, reactionary. They do and then maybe think afterwards, whereas introverts think and then do. Now, obviously, this comes in many situations.
Likam.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's do the same thing, but maybe just talk to me about this. Explain it to me because maybe we're having a technical issue on the other end because we can hear you really well, but every time we take you to the queue, there is an issue there. But let's do this. Maybe you can explain it to me.
No worries, man. Works for me either way.
Good
So, like
stuff.
as I was saying, the extroversion versus introversion isn't really about liking to go out, liking to stay in, things like that. We all like to stay in. Sometimes we all like to go out. Everyone needs social contact, of course. What we're really concentrating on is the activity and how active you are. Extroverts tend to be active in a very material sense, in a very like outwardly sense. What they think about is outward, what they do is outward, whereas introverts are very interior. So even if you do a brain scan of introverts, they tend to have they tend to have lighting up brains when even if they're at home in their couch or sleeping at night. And I'll put any money on this. Most introverts are the people who can't fall asleep because they're too busy ruminating and thinking and doing things in their mind. And that's not to say that extroverts aren't thinking as well. Of course they are. It's just that their thinking in essence is based on things that are exterior to them as well. So that's the main difference between those two. After that, you really have to talk about sensing and intuition, sensing versus intuition. And sensing, you could take in a very literal sense, as in my nose, my ears, my mouth, my touch. These are very like, again, kind of external things where I see a flower and I'm like, okay, there we go. Whereas you would come to something like intuition, and then with intuition, it's sort of about a feeling, but it's a bit crazier than that as well. It's kind of how we take in information, and instead of taking in, the touch of the flower, you're taking in more so everything around that. So if you could think about it, something like an imaginary, you build an imaginary world out of it. So you find intuition a lot in people who are like J.K. Rowling, people who can make these elaborate worlds. The guy who made Lord of the Rings, sorry, his name escapes me. But yeah, that sort of intuition goes beyond the five senses, and it's just a vibe. Yeah, some people just say a vibe, a feeling.
Yeah.
So then beyond that, you have thinking versus feeling. And I know we just talked about feeling again, but when I say feeling this time, I really mean like how internally we process emotions. Now, someone who's thinking tends to believe in objective truth. Everything has an objective truth that must be known. Whereas a feeling person likes to look at emotion as the validity of truth. So one example that I hear a lot of is a man is stealing. So someone who is thinking would say, yes, stealing is wrong. They took away value from someone else. That's really the end of it. Someone who's feeling will usually ask more questions and wonder, well, were they hungry? Did they need to? What situations were they put in? And that kind of comes from a more trying to connect with someone on an emotional level. Now, one thing about that is a lot of people consider, they say, oh, well, you know, feeling, that's not really logical. So the idea here is you can both be logical, but it's about the goal. When you're thinking, the goal is just objective truth all the way through, no matter what. When you're feeling, you use logic to get to the goal of someone's emotions. The goal is to heal an emotion. It's to feel an emotion. It's to do an emotion. It's something of that nature. And just the last one to talk about real quickly is judging and perceiving. Now, the best way to talk about judging and perceiving is something of judges are planners. They sort of make lists, categorize things in that general direction. Whereas perceivers are improvisers. They enjoy change, adaptability, things of that nature. And of course, there's so much more interplay that goes into this that obviously we're going to talk about later. But in essence, that's how it goes. You'll see judges. Judges are the ones who make lists. These are the guys who are like, okay, I'm doing that, then I'm doing that, then I'm doing that. And that's all before they've had their morning cup of coffee. And then you have perceivers who walk around and then they're just, they're struck and they're like, I'm going to do this. They improvise. They not even just can change, but they need change as a vital force in them. Honestly, the MBTI goes into a lot more detail that we're going to touch upon, especially when we talk about me and you, which honestly is going to be super interesting.
Yeah.
And so it really does go into more. If anyone really wants to find out, there are tons of quizzes, and I want to put that out there. Obviously, they're not perfect. These are based off psychology in itself is not a perfect science. It's closer to a more social science. But these tests, if you do them, you'll see that they do enlighten you in a certain way, and they do bring something out. So the more you learn about it, I'm sure you kind of get into it more and more, and might even get a little addicted to it. But I think tomorrow's really great, and I hope whoever's watching, you do the test on one. I like to use it 16 personalities. It's just a fun and easy one to do. But yeah, if you do that, then you come back and watch us. Maybe you'll have the same type as us, and then you get something out of it.
And I was saying to you earlier that I did the 16 personalities a couple of months back maybe, and that was the first time I ever heard of. Now, I had heard of these different personalities, but the actual place you can go and do a test, maybe I heard of it, but never really sort of took the action to go ahead and do it. So when I told you what my characteristics were or my personalities, you were like, oh, now that makes sense. And then you told me yours, and I was like, oh, it's so close to each other. And obviously, I'm trying to sort of not say what it is so people can follow tomorrow. But can you look at someone, and maybe if you knew these different personalities, can you look at someone and know who or what their personality is?
So a part of that, yes, is true. So a part of it is you can obviously see someone and see how they react to things and do things. But also a part of it is, so when we talk about something like introversion, right? Everyone has introverted qualities in ways about going themselves that are introverted that we'll never know. So without giving too much away, I guess a good example is I have one friend, and he, life of the party, loves to do things, is great at doing them, blah, blah, blah. But he does like to keep his feelings hidden. His feelings are within himself. So I will never know how much of a feeler he is, how sad he gets, anything like that, because he likes to keep it within himself. So, I mean, as much as you can say yes and no, I guess the difference is personality. Yes, you can tell someone's personality because that's a very exterior thing. Your personality is how you come off in a lot of ways. But this is also about ways of thinking, and you can never really tell someone's way of thinking or how they make judgments unless you ask them. But I mean, I think it's really helpful. I would like to say it helps you read people a lot.
Yeah, it is absolutely like any. Now this is more of a survey, so you are more putting in everything that you know about yourself, and then it's giving back to you based on all of those responses. But these kind of sciences or these kind of essays, however you want to look at it, they are helpful, because one of the things I've noticed is we are not, like if it was a time where we could actually learn and study for 40 years and then go into the world to do what we set out to do, it would make sense. But a lot of us are coming into the world and get caught up with so much things, and there's no time to really learn about who we are, learn about ourselves. And so I think these kind of tools can be useful for people who, especially for people who are lost, people who are going through depression, people who have these challenges of PTSD or whatever challenges that you face in life. These kind of tests, for me, I feel like it's something everybody should try, at least to help you know, okay, this is why I am this way, this is why I behave this way, this is why people react to me this way, this is why I react to people a certain way, or at least to remind yourself, okay, wait, these are my weaknesses and my strengths.
Yeah,
to me, that is the key point, right?
Exactly. And like the one thing I do want to stress, and I mean, it's hard to stress, but you have to be honest when you take these questions, like very literal and honest with yourself, which is something that it's hard for all of us, let's be honest. I used to do these tests in high school because we had to do them for high school, and then I did them in uni for one of my classes, and my results differed. Now, some people would say, oh yeah, because you've changed, how you perceive things has changed. That's, in all honesty, that's not what science says. What science says is your ability to be truthful with yourself is what changes. So whereas before, maybe in high school, you know, you want to be a little cool, you want to be a little this, and you answer accordingly. The older you get, you kind of just like, I am. And that's really what you have to do with this. You have to be honest, and that's the whole point, to accept yourself and be honest with who you are.
All right, Rikam, thank you so much. We look forward to doing this tomorrow. Obviously, we're going to show people more of me and you in terms of our personalities, and I hope people can tune in and actually see, because I think a lot of it, I learned a lot from you just through that, the conversation, and that's something I look forward to seeing tomorrow.
Awesome. Cheers, boss.
Appreciate it. All right, let's go for a commercial.
A coronavirus is a type of virus that can infect the respiratory tract, meaning the nose, mouth, throat, sinuses, or lungs. There are many types of coronaviruses, and most cause only mild illness, such as the common cold. But some coronaviruses can cause severe illness. The most likely way people can become infected is by droplets that contain the virus. These droplets carry the virus into the air and can enter through the nose, mouth, throat, and lungs of a person who is within 6 feet or 2 meters. The virus infects the lungs, causing the lungs to become inflamed. The alveolar sacs have to be healthy for the body to breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. Infection of the virus causes damage to the cells of the lungs and triggers an inflammatory reaction. Fever may develop. With severe inflammation, inflammatory fluid fills the lungs. This reduces the function of the alveoli, resulting in coughing and difficulty breathing. The oxygen level in the blood may decrease. In some people who become severely ill, other organs may be affected, such as the kidneys or the heart.
Right, so tonight again, it's all good. Tonight was a brief program. We obviously wanted to show you a bit about Kensington Market. We talked about the LSHC. We also just had the conversation with Likam, and to me, those are the most important things, the things where we're actually working on understanding ourselves. You know, that's the main point of the organization, the Rwandan Canadian Healing Center, is to provide healing programs, and part of that is going to be these kinds of programs like the one we just did, or at least to bring all of these programs into one place. You know, because like if you notice in Kensington Market, some of the people we're talking about were talking about meditation, and I'm like, those are the kinds of things we want to bring into the continental African Canadian community. It's still a stigma for many. Many of us, of course, are more into the traditional religions like Christianity and Islam, and those are all good. But we also want to embrace the ancient practices, the ones that we used to before, you know, we got sort of caught up within these new systems, which are all good. We're not discouraging anybody, or we're not saying all these programs are any better. We're just saying that we need to find a way to bring it all together and learn how to actually heal and learn based on who we are individually. Anyways, so that was all for tonight. Obviously, we're going to be back with you tomorrow and the rest of the week. It's the same time every day, 6 to 7. And also, we ask once again, yes, we thank you for watching, but also we ask that you share this, because we are trying to reach as many people as we can. And so any share, any like on our social media is appreciated. And we look to seeing you again tomorrow evening. And thank you for joining us.